So, I got dressed up today.
You sure did.
I wanted to...
Like a Harlem no trot.
yeah, there's some no trotting in my game, believe me. No, man, I wanted to bring this out to discuss another area of my life that I dove into some extreme. And that was into the extreme fandom of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
Now, I don't wear this full ensemble very often, to be quite honest.
Dude, that hat looked like it spent some time as a urinal cake.
It might have. To be honest, I haven't worn the hat much.
It looks like a hat.
It has maintained. Like, I will not let it go. It certainly isn't going to go in the trash can anytime soon.
No.
It has some very special meaning to me.
It's one of the prettiest nicotine-stained yellows I've seen.
Yeah,
it nailed that color.
And I can't even guarantee that was the exact color it was when I got it, but I will say it doesn't look much better or worse than it did when I got the hat. But, man, it was fun. You know, it was a new experience, and that's kind of what I do. You know, I'll dive into something new that interests me as hard as I can.
I think they call it geeking out now.
Geeking out? Is that what I do?
Yeah. I think that's what happens.
Well, I like calling it taking it to extremes, but, yeah, I got close. But when you geek out, in as many different topics as I do, like, you really don't ever become a master of one. I really don't think I ever hit a super
the hope runs out. Yeah, I think the hope runs out.
But, man, I got close with it, man. I would do some extreme things. What I do during playoff season. This was particular playoffs 2012. This is our big run into the conference championship, and I was every time I could get one of these playoff games, I was there door busted. Yeah, I was there when doors open, which is usually, I think it was an hour and a half or 2 hours before the game. So no one in their right mind's really there. And to be honest, I think I've even mentioned in the past I wasn't in my right mind. Part of the reason was because I didn't like my job. So it was a dang good excuse to be sitting in an arena watching one of the stars warm up as opposed to
in 2012 in a town that never thought they were going to have an NBA team. There's a lot to get up for.
Oh, yeah. I've seen our fan base grow in enthusiasm and then wane.
Did that moment make you into a super fan?
No. I was building up into. Honestly, I didn't even know that I was almost like an amateur super fan.
Because this was Harden, Durant, and Westbrook all at once?
Yes. Like those special moments. This is Harden in his prime with us, to be honest. And I've been excited about him from the beginning. He was the very first draft pick that the Thunder made. Whenever Westbrook came, he was a rookie. Like his first year, 2008, he played with us. But we hadn't drafted him. Okay. We weren't the team. So it was our draft next time was Harden.
So this was looking good.
I dove deep into Harden. I was like, this is going to be my guy. Right. He's got the beard. You know, everybody was fear the beard. We were all into Harden around this time.
Close your eyes and that shirt was for you.
Yeah. I honestly looked that way. So after I'm up there sitting there, that's all you can do that many hours early. To be honest, I was lucky to even have the opportunity to sitting there watching him warm up. And once he gets done, he goes over to the tunnel on the other side of the arena, and I see him stop, and he's starting to sign autographs. Yeah. And there's a little bit of a crowd starting to form, and I'm thinking,
got to get there.
All of a sudden, I turn into an 8-year-old child. Everything goes out the door. I just go into temporary insanity. Let's go get this.
Yeah.
And now I had a little bit of – I managed to keep my faculties a little bit because I didn't just run straight across the court, like Forrest Gump going after
But you
Jenny.
had to rule it out.
Like, James Harden.
You thought about it.
I didn't – I managed to have my sanity enough to go up the arena, go out around the proper way. But I'm running just like I'm on fire.
You got it,
and I get I'm starting to get there, and I got to try to figure out where do I go back in on the other side. And then as I'm starting to get into it to run down the arena, I see where the little mob is, and I'm like, I got to get some little mob.
You mean they're mostly 10 and 12-year-olds?
Yeah, that too. Not. But I was trying to depict the number of people, like somewhere around 15 or 20.
Yeah,
but yes, they also were
past a certain rate of decay.
If we had taken a group photo, I would have had to have stand in the back.
Yeah,
I was going to be
sense.
the biggest one there. But as I'm going, I'm like, oh no, I got to have something to sign because I see them. They have their stuff, and I think, program. I left it back at the seat. And then next thing, body part. But I mean, come on, you're not going to go up and have a body part.
Yeah,
hard to hang on to those. So I quickly go into clothing, and I think, shirt, nope. Ooh, I've got on my special custom-made Thunder shoes, and off comes the shoe. So now,
are those steel toe?
No, they are not. They are not. They do have a few different color sections, And when I say the custom creation, that was where I got to pick. And I spent, honestly,
you built this
weeks building this shoe, changing the color
man.
of this to blue to this to orange. And so I was quite excited when I thought of this. Here's my thing. So now,
kind of looks like this set. Is that
I
what
like
you just
blue.
default to blue? Huh?
I can't.
All
Yeah,
right.
blue's just the way it works. So now I'm going down and I'm getting through them. I'm not knocking any toddlers down or anything, mind you. I'm just
getting them the hell out of the way.
And then, my turn comes up, and then here I am, James Harden right in front of me, and I hand him my shoe. And then he looks at it and he says, "Wow, fresh kicks, man." And then my little kid's soul just lit with excitement. Like James Harden had just commented on how fresh these shoes were.
Fresh kicks. Fresh kicks, that was the term?
That was it. And then he looks up at me, and I want to say something meaningful in this moment. This is my chance. And I say, "Thank you. I had them custom made on NikeID.com." And like that same motion, like that same voice. Like I was this 8-year-old kid ready to deliver something for the congregation that I had been practicing.
And you did it. And he signed them?
I got them out. He signed them and handed them to me.
Wait a minute.
That was the last time James Harden and I ever spoke.
Was he falling down as he signed them?
Yeah.
That's a signature.
It's tough to distinguish. Again,
Tough to distinguish. I thought it was the punchline. So you're telling me like that is how James Harden says, "Yo, I've been here."
Well, yeah,
it looks like that.
That's how he does it, at least whenever he's riding across a bumpy
Oh.
shoe and looking up at a grown man that he might be wondering in the back of his mind, like, is this fella special needs?
Yeah.
Do I need to handle this man in a different fashion?
I think he's declared it.
I'm not sure. Yeah, he wrote in a manner that maybe I would understand.
He's dressed like a mascot without the budget. Yeah. And now he's had me sign his shoe as he's clubbed these other 8-year-olds out of the way.
I specifically said I did no clubbing.
And it really looks like he kind of just did a little EKG on the side, gave it back to you.
Yes.
And it melted your heart in that moment.
And then did everything he could to not ever make eye contact or have any interaction with me.
It's got to be awkward. It's got to be awkward to sign Grandpa's shoe and then act like it's something Grandpa should be asking you to do.
I don't know how else to put it except some people would call it like temporary insanity. I got inundated with temporary youthfulness.
It's a moment, yeah,
and it was a funny experience. I don't recommend chasing very many grown men down and asking them to sign any piece of your clothing. But if the mood does strike you, what are you going to do?
I've had some moments where I've chased for autographs. There is like an adrenaline. Mm-hmm. It's similar to going on a hunt, or you got a moment and you need to capture it, and the evidence that it will be captured will only be presented if you get the celebrity to sign whatever you got going on.
But the magic's not in the signature.
Those were big, but I remember those were big moments. They were moments that impacted me, and I just remember, coming out of like 5th grade summer, that was such a big thing to catch a signature like that. By the time I got to 6th grade, it was kind of wasn't a deal anymore. But there was that moment where it was like, yeah, I want a signature. I want somebody to defile this piece of something as evidence that we shared space.
Yes. And then, like I said, would you share that space? That's the real magic.
That's the beauty.
This shoe is not worth anything to anybody.
Yeah.
Except to me and the memory.
You got that.
And you wish that you have a little better memory. So I highly recommend, if you are going to go get that autograph, plan a little bit of what you're going to say.
Soak it up.
In the engagement.
So
that childishness that led you running up there isn't what comes out of your mouth when you finally get to talk to the person you wanted signing your shoe.
All right. Great story.
Yeah, that's what I got dressed up for.
I'm sure Harden will be proud.